Hello again, beautiful artists, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye and I post beginning level acrylic tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So hit subscribe if you'd like to join the fun and paint along. Hit the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I post a new video. Okay, so this week we are fast approaching the holiday season, so I wanted to do another holiday painting. We're going to be doing some lovely candles and a sort of whimsical, Christmassy feeling background today. So I'm starting with a black canvas, and the colors that I'm going to start with on my palette are a beautiful phthalo green, my favorite color, a nice bright cobalt blue, and then also just black and white. I'm going to be using my 3 standard brushes for this painting as usual. So I have a square flat brush, this medium size round brush, and then a small round tiny brush as well. I'm gonna go ahead and put those in my water cup. I'm going to start with my biggest square brush today, and we're going to do some circles, some spheres. And I'm gonna work my way from kind of a darker blue to a lighter blue. So I'm gonna start out with a blue with just a tiny pinch of white in it. And it's important that you get the paint loaded on both sides. And then anywhere that you'd like, you can go ahead and just drag your brush in a circle and create some beautiful little orbs. Maybe little magical twinkling lights in the background. Maybe there's snow, kind of a magical, whimsical, mysterious element. Quite fun to do. And since we're gonna have our candles in the center, I'm gonna leave that part alone for the most part. And I'm gonna do my circles mostly kind of framing the 2 outside edges. That's pretty. Got a little bit of kind of color variation in there. So again, leaving a little bit of space right in the center. And just creating a few of these nice circles. Okay, very pretty. I think I actually want to take a blue with a tiny pinch of black in it as well and make kind of like a navy, because I think that would look nice in a few places as well. So all different tones of blue for these circles. And again, we're just kind of framing our center here, preparing us to put some candles right in the middle. Okay, and this is kind of a less is best step. So we're not going to go too crazy with each color. So a couple circles with that darker blue. Now I'm going to rinse my brush. And I'm going to go in with a lighter blue. So just another pinch of white in there, just in that same little blue batch. Okay, and kind of just wherever you like. You can also have some that go off the edge of the canvas. That looks really nice too. Okay, and maybe even having some that are really close or overlapping of the other ones. Nice and random, sort of asymmetrical is my favorite. I think I'm going to take an even lighter blue now and come down here. You can try to follow my layout exactly, but I also encourage you to just get creative and give it a try. Creating your own little unique composition with this step. Go either way. This is really good dexterity practice for your fingers as well. Okay, I think maybe one more over here. That one's pretty small. Become a little bit bigger. Kind of off the edge like so. I like that. That's really pretty. Okay, we're gonna go with that. All right, now I'm gonna take my medium-sized brush. I'm gonna do one more quick little background step here with some of the lighter blue. And I'm going to kind of add a little bit more texture here along the outside edges. Maybe this is like a frost or something, just kind of adding to that whimsical icy blue feeling. And again, kind of creating a frame for my candles. Okay, a little bit of kind of dry brush action here. And just kind of breaking up the black and bringing some light in. 'Tis the season after all. Okay, looks good. Very whimsical. Now let's create our candle shapes. So I'm gonna use my tiny little brush for this. And I'm gonna do 3 candles today. So one I'm going to do with green. I'm gonna start with that one. You want a nice frosty kind of spearmint green, which is my favorite color. Love it. Kind of right in the middle. You don't want to go too light because we are going to add some highlights. We want to make sure that those highlights can be visible. Then you also don't want to go too dark because you really want that pretty mint color. Okay. And now I'm going to have the green one kind of be the largest here in the background. So I'm just going to do a quick little oval like so. And then just straight lines coming down. It's okay if you cut through one of your little circles, that's ideal. And then I'm gonna rinse my brush. I like to kind of create a paint by numbers for myself, so I sketch it with the color that I'm going to fill it in with. Little painter's trick for you. And then let's see, I'm gonna do a light blue one. Again, kind of doing that medium light blue, not too dark, not too light. But you want to make sure it feels frosty. Okay, and let's see, let's do one, kind of a medium-sized one. We're gonna go further over here with this one. Perfect, and then just pulling that through whatever shape is there. And then dead center, going to do a dark blue candle. Gotta make sure again that it's just the right hue. That was a little bit too light. Right in the middle, about like so. Okay, but you want it to be darker than this one, yeah? Okay, so let's do one more right in the center. Perfect. Okay, now let's go ahead and fill this in with our medium-sized brush. And rather than doing layers and waiting for it to dry, we're gonna kind of maneuver around this and just get it filled in with the base color for now. So you can take like your mint green, and you're actually just going to bring it around that front candle, okay? So don't bring it all the way. And right now we're just getting the coverage, so don't worry too much about anything else here, just getting it filled in with that base color. And you might need to make up a little bit more if you were not prepared, and you can also get clean white at any moment if you need that. Okay. Just getting that all filled in all the way to the edges. Okay, like so, nice and clean edge is the goal. All the way straight down off the canvas, like so, okay? Nice and simple, and then we wanna come back and make sure all of our brush strokes in this part are going up and down. And then in our top little oval part, we're going to fill that in as well, but we're going to go the different direction here. Always keeping the brush strokes in the direction of the shape that we're filling in. Like that. And then I'm gonna grab a little bit of a dark green and just right in that little oval part, I'm gonna do a couple little shadows. Like so. And that way we begin to see a little bit of structure of our candle. And then I'm also gonna take that same dark green and just really subtly go along the outside edges. So very, very subtle step. You'll see me do this a lot with a little bit of wet on wet blending, and then we'll come back later and add more highlights and shadows. But for now, it's quite subtle. So the layering up effect is really what we want with acrylic painting. Okay, like so on either side. Perfect. Now we're going to repeat those same steps with our dark blue and our light blue. So why don't we just go ahead and work on our light blue over here. Making sure I have a little bit of white in that blue so that it's different than my front candle's gonna be. Okay, same idea, everybody. Just filling it in with that blue. Bringing it all the way out to create a nice clean edge. And we don't want to come into our front candle here either. Okay, like so, bringing that around and down. Nice. Looking cute. Really like the colors of this painting. I was gonna call it Blue Christmas, but I didn't want it to sound sad. Frosty Christmas. Okay, looks good. And then same idea here. So we're filling in that center part. And then we're going to add a little bit of shadow in there. Just making sure my shape looks good. Nice oval, swooping around. Whoop. Okay, and then a little bit of dark blue in there. Creates a little bit of structure on this first pass. And on the outside edge here, a little bit of shadow. Okay, nice. And then the front one. Okay, let's use our medium blue, not too dark, not too light. We want to make sure it is different enough than our other light blue candle, of course. Okay, nice clean edge. There we go, everything's coming together. If you are painting along, I've created a Facebook group for my students to share their work. So I'd love to see your paintings, whether it be from painting along with me on Saturdays or just from your own imagination. Check the description box for a link. Also in the description box, you'll find a link to a materials page that has all the specific brands and everything that I use for these classes. So I should have mentioned that earlier, but check that out. Okay, that looks good. And then a little bit of dark blue in there as well. You may need to add even a pinch of black into that blue so you get a nice dark navy blue so that we have a noticeable gradation. Okay, on either side, like so. Very cute. Okay, I'm gonna do one more quick step before we take a quick break. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of white here. I'm going to make a very light blue. Just really quick, I'm gonna pull a little bit of white into this front candle just to give it a nice highlight. And the same thing in the back candle. So this is kind of the opposite of the shading effect. We're doing a nice highlight as well. And then same thing in the green candle. If it's dried a little bit too much, you can always take a little bit of light green back in to help you blend. Like so. Just a nice little subtle highlight to begin to give our candles that cylindrical shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and let this dry, and then we're going to come back and add our final touches. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, welcome back. I have a dry canvas and also some fresh colors on my palette. This time I'm working with just a tiny bit of black, a tiny bit of yellow, an even tinier bit of orange, just a little bit, and white. I have also fresh water and clean brushes, and I'm going to do a lot of the remainder of the painting with my tiniest small little round brush. So let's go ahead and grab this guy, and we're going to do some candle wicks. So let's use a little bit of black for that. And the first thing that we're going to do is just a little up and down line that goes right into the middle of each of our candles. Very simple here, nothing too tricky. Just a little line right in the middle, coming down into the middle part of your little oval there. Great. Now I'm going to rinse my brush. And from the top part of each of those wicks, I'm going to start building my little flame. So let's go ahead and build the whole flame first with light yellow. So it's going to be yellow mixed with white. It's going to be our base color here. And then we're going to come in here and create a little flame with kind of a little flare at the top on each one of these. Okay, very cute, adorable, a little bit whiter at the bottom. It's nice if they sort of look different. Okay, looks good to me. And now I'm going to take a little bit of that orange, just a tiny bit, and right at the base of each of those flames, I'm just going to bring a little bit of orange on up into the light yellow. Really subtle little touch here, but makes a big difference. Okay, now I'm going to rinse my brush, and I'm going to go in with a little bit of white, just white. Making sure I don't have any water on my brush that could drip down. And I'm going to go at the top part here and kind of gently outline the very top part. And add just a little bit of white to the top without completely covering up all of the yellow. So you want to have still a little bit of yellow peeking out from under. You may need to add some yellow back on top just so that you do have that lovely little color gradation of orange to yellow to white. That really adds to the flame look. So in some areas you can just go ahead and add a little bit of yellow right back on top like so. Okay, now we're going to do this beautiful little glowing effect around those lights, which I think is probably my favorite part of the painting. We're going to use that same beautiful light yellow that we used for the base color of our flame. I'm going to mix up a little bit more. And we're using our tiniest brush, so make sure that you get that brush nice and rolling in there so that it comes to a nice point. Okay, rolling it in there using your hand, building up that dexterity. Okay, now from this flame, we're going to do little glow marks on either side. We're going to come out with those, like a few rows worth, and also up above. Okay, really subtle step, but I think really makes the painting. Okay, and you can kind of get a little bit more space in between the rows as you come out, as if the light is sort of dissipating. And very, very gently with your brush, pull those last few out. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for my other flames. Just going from the shape of the flame and bringing that out a little bit down. The light would be going all different directions. Beautiful little representation of the light returning. Beautiful, very subtle, gentle little brush strokes. Working our way outwards. like so. That looks good. Don't go too far, and this is a less is best kind of step as well. Okay, there we go. Just a few that are bold. And bringing it further up as well. Bringing a nice glowing warmth into our painting. Okay, like so. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay, gonna rinse my brush again. And I'm gonna add some black and white to kind of finish everything off. It's going to look very nice. Little bit of black we'll start with. And if I add a little bit of water into the black, kind of mix it up, it becomes a little bit more like ink, which is easier to use in my opinion, a little bit thinner of a viscosity. And now I'm going to re-outline the shapes that I had here to start with. Being careful not to do a big black line over my little glow marks. Okay, you want to very gently kind of bring that in there. Same idea here, so be careful not to go over those beautiful glow marks. But we're making everything look clean and finished by just bringing a nice black outline around our main shapes here in the foreground. Like so. And then we can add a little bit of shadow kind of around the wick area and along the outside edges here. And then even a few really tiny brush strokes kind of up and down along the outside edges. Okay, so that's how we're finishing off the candle with black. We are going to add a little bit of white there too in just a minute, but let's go ahead and take this black all the way into the different candles first. Okay, outlining our shape here. Kind of always gives you an opportunity to make everything a little bit straighter and cleaner. So we're going up and down with these lines. Okay, and then very delicately bringing my black line into the back as well, and doing a little bit of shadow on the inside there and on the outside edges. Perfect. Okay, and then on to our last candle. Same steps again. Okay, very gently bringing that shape all around. Nice line of definition here between our blue candle and our little white orb in the background. Nice, creating a little shadow where the pool of wax would be, and a little bit of shadowing on the outside edges, like so. Very cute. Okay, a little bit of white now in a few different areas, and we are almost done, everyone. Home stretch. Okay, a little bit of white, same idea, get that brush rolling in that paint so that it comes to a nice point. Gonna add a little bit of highlight here on the background edge, and then also on the foreground edge here, so back there and right there, and then kind of on the ledge of the candle. And then this is a really nice little step. So right where your highlight would be, kind of in the center, you're gonna do a little squiggly mark. And that really adds to the sort of painterly, kind of sketchy feel of this, I think. A little bit along the back edge and on the foreground. Okay, there we go. And then a little squiggly right in the center as well. Okay, nice little finishing touches here. And this one, like so. Okay, that looks super cute. I'm going to take a little bit of white and bring it into this area here, just to sort of add to that glowing effect. So that's kind of right where the glow is closest to the candle flame. Okay, adding just a few brush strokes there. And anything else that you'd like to do to sort of finish off your painting. I personally want to add a few more little orbs with my clean white now that I have it. So I'm going to grab my large brush and just a few more right where I feel like would be nice, right where I think my painting needs it. Your painting might not need this. But any other little final touches that you like. I think I'm going to do one over here as well. Just think that adds a nice touch. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. That is all the instruction that I have for you guys. I hope you liked today's tutorial. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments section below. I'd love to see you over in the art club, and until next time, stay creative.